All right, hey yo, what's going on, all my gamers, all my reaction gamers chat? I have heard of this situation, right? I've seen a lot of people play this game. By a lot of people, I mean like only a few people, right? But it was apparently a game by the UK government where they inevitably, I think they shut it down because people were picking the people that they didn't want to pick, right? The illusion of choice, whatever. I think this is really funny. I mean, you're not gonna really force someone to pick what you want, right? You just kind of leave the thing open and just leave it to interpretation. But let's learn about it.
You may have heard about the
Shout out to
UK
Hero Hey, of
government
course,
releasing this
which
game.
is funny because I just started playing Marvel Rivals again, and I'm not great. Anyways, go ahead.
Called Pathways. They say navigating
Pathways.
gaming, the internet, and extremism. A free youth-centered interactive learning package for education on extremism, radicalization, and prevent. And the point of this video is not to
prevent. I don't know why that sounds funny. Why is it just prevent? Prevent what? Blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing about something like this, right? Is especially with the UK government, what exactly do they deem extremism, radicalism, and prevent, right? Like, what do you really deem as prevent? That's just what I'm wondering, and that's why. Honestly, I'm not mad at a game like this, right? Like, more games that I'm mad at that really upset me are when you take over existing franchises, right? I see this more as on the same level as, what is it called? What is it called? Dustborn. I don't really care about Dustborn. It doesn't really bother me, right? I don't care how much it costs or how much it lost a company, right? It was its own IP. It was made specifically for what it was made for, and that's fine, right?
On extremism,
I think games like that are
radicalization,
fine.
And prevent. And the point of this video is not to tell you about this game. It's to show you how recently this game is completely
I need to pay attention to how he
backfired on the
plays
UK
Star-Lord.
government.
My Star-Lord's not good.
It ended up doing the opposite of what they wanted, but we'll talk about that a bit more in a second. Let me point this out first, because this little pop-up that you get when you visit their homepage is hilarious. It says, sign up to our monthly newsletter to keep up with the world of political and media literacy education. It's hilarious because, as you know, what they're describing as media literacy is really just, hey, do you fall for our propaganda? If you do, you're media literate. Good job. Good job.
I hate that word, chat. I can't lie. First of all, I'm already regularly illiterate. Don't just start telling me I'm media illiterate. I don't like the word media literacy. I have never heard the word media literacy used in a connotation that wasn't negative, right? Where there's like, oh, you don't get the political messaging and blah blah blah, so you're illiterate, and you don't know media literacy, and it's like Uma Musume or something, and it's like, okay, sure. I don't know. I've never liked the word, and I've never really cared about any of that stuff.
You
it's
don't
silly
have
to me,
independent
right?
thinking, so we're going to say that that's actually media literacy and try to make you feel good about it. It's a very obvious rhetorical manipulation tactic, and yet some people actually fall for it. And you can see this exact same tactic being used by pseudo-intellectual Reddit tier activists who throw the term critical thinking
we gotta watch that Reddit video
around. What they really mean is, hey, do you unquestionably subscribe to our activist rhetoric?
No.
If yes, we're going to label you a critical thinker. Good job. But if no, if you question this stuff, if you actually think about it, we're going to label you someone who doesn't have critical thinking. It's obviously ridiculous and yet another rhetorical manipulation tactic. But anyways, going back to this Pathways game.
I think there's another word that people would use to describe it. I think it also starts with an R. I can't really think of it, though.
Game by the UK government. As mentioned, I want to tell you about how this has backfired on them so much.
Oh, yeah.
It literally ended up doing the opposite of what they were trying to do. Oh, yeah. So one of the pathways in this game is going the villain/bad route. And that involves befriending this character, Amelia, who's supposed to be like the antagonist of the game.
What? Why? Is it because she has purple hair? I think they just have that just because she mixes with the background, no?
And she has horrible ideas like criticizing the government's policies on immigration. Oh, how dare you criticize the UK government and how objectively their immigration.
I have to imagine. No, honestly, I do think they believe this was going to work. because they wouldn't think it was gonna work, or yeah, they wouldn't have thought that it was going to work had they not left there as an actual viable option, right? You know what I'm saying? Like in games where you get a romance route, and if you were never meant to romance that character, they just wouldn't put it in, right? They would never let you do it or make it hard or anything like that. You just want to get the option. You knew that they had the audacity to think that you wouldn't pick this character because they left it open. And that is the funniest part about this.
Policies have been a net negative in many ways, but if you dare talk about that, if you dare so much as criticize the government, oh, you're going down this radicalization route.
I'm not a big fan of
this villain, this bad route. How dare you do that? And so they make this character Amelia to try to help persuade people not to go down that route by framing her as like an extremist or something. But it turns out that most people actually found Amelia to be the most reasonable person in the game, which has resulted in people not going against him.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Did she have a no entry sign? Is that what that was? Got very inspired to draw Amelia,
but actually siding with her, finding her to be based and making a bunch of fan art of her, memes of her, etc., etc.
I think,
and look how absurd this is. This is an example of what the UK government was trying to frame as like evil, bad, villain stuff.
All right, let's read this. Amelia, Charlie's closest friend, has made a video encouraging young people in Briggleton, is that how you say it? That doesn't even sound real. To join a political group that seeks to defend English rights. Wait, well, that just sounds silly. That sounds silly because, like, shouldn't the English have rights? What? What? Well, I mean, I don't know. The UK doesn't sound like a real place. I don't know.
So the text reads, Amelia, Charlie's close
It's coming from a brainless American, please.
Friend, has made a video encouraging young people in Bridlington to join a political group that seeks to defend English rights.
Sorry. What did I say, Briggleton?
So you're an English person concerned about English rights. That's apparently extremist and bad. How ridiculous is that? Hey, if you're concerned about your rights, you're a right-wing extremist?
Yeah, that just sounds
is insane.
Wrong. What?
Check this one out. This one says, somebody else in the class tells Charlie that this is proof that immigrants are coming to the UK and taking our jobs.
To be fair, that sounds funny. They took our chat. They took our gerbs. That's all I can really think about when I hear that. They took our gerbs.
So the UK government is going to sit there telling people not to.
Was that my screen or his screen?
And taking our jobs. So the UK government is.
Oh my God! What happened to this gameplay? It got so crunchy.
Gonna sit there telling people not to be concerned about their.
That was so egregious. It made me stop and think, Chad. I'm so sorry about
policies, and that if you're concerned about these policies, you're a right-wing extremist. You're a bad person. What makes this crazier is that mere days ago, around January 9th of this year, the United Arab Emirates began restricting funding for its citizens to study abroad at British universities over tensions with the UK for the UK government refusing to label the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization.
Okay.
In other words, the UAE, which is one of the most prominent Muslim countries in the world, is saying that the UK government is radically pro-Islamic terror. But again, the UK government will turn around and tell people that if they're concerned about any of this, that they're the ones who are the problem. Now, for argument's sake, you know, the UK government's trying to say, like, oh, we don't want to label them a terrorist organization. Here's the thing. Even if the UK government wants to say that, it's still an example of immense hypocrisy because the Muslim Brotherhood openly talks about how they want a global Islamic state. That is their end goal. They want a global Islamic state.
Right.
And the UK government is apparently more fine with that concept than they are the concept of an English citizen being concerned about English rights in England. With that little segue aside, though, let's return to talking about this Pathways game and how much this has backfired on the UK government. Right. And how reasonable people that found out about this game all decided to side with Amelia. In other words, no.
Bro, I wish I could draw shout out to all these artists who are drawing stuff like this because it is so funny to look at this stuff. I love art just born of memes. I don't know why. And like fan arts and stuff like that. I think this is the funniest thing ever.
One fell for the government's propaganda. Here we can see some fan art of Kirsten.
She looks like out of that one type of... Oh, God. What is it called, Chad? You guys know what
I'm
talking about, right?
Wishing for Amelia to die because she has the audacity to say England for the English and wave St. George's flag. Something that we've already seen the UK government for over a year now complain about. Oh, how dare you fly St. George's flag? That is a symbol of hate. You know, they try to say nonsense like that. This account on Twitter, Christmas Brick.
Don't... Oh, my God. Oh my God, bro. It is so good. And I love that the first thing they do is they turn it into anime memes. I don't know why. It is so funny to me.
Would post this edit of the manga Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro.
Yeah.
Saying, don't radicalize me, Miss Amelia. It's a pretty funny edit there.
So
we got
good.
people making edits with Grok, showing Amelia like dancing there with, once again, St. George's Cross. This account posting Amelia waving the Union Jack and saying UK doesn't know what they did. Doesn't know what they've done, do they?
So
this account
funny,
posting
bro.
a meme of the main character meeting Amelia, siding with Amelia, marrying Amelia,
Falling in
and having a
love.
family with Amelia. I'll show this one again. This fan art done by Juju.
I like this one the most. You know what she
Saying
kind of
got
looks
very
like?
inspired to draw Amelia, not
This Amelia kind of looks like Momo from Dan to Dan. Is that just me? I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's kind of what I see. I see Momo.
AI, and showing Amelia there holding up the no entry sign from the game, and again the Union Jack. With over 10,000 likes, we've also got our
It's Leaflet.
based
Oh, no.
VTuber Leaflets.
That's what this is a reference to. I seen this. I have seen this already. I seen it when she uploaded it, and it had like only 900 views. I didn't realize what this was referring to. Amelia, the last rose of... Okay. You see now things are starting to click. Now things are getting... Now I'm
Amelia,
seeing
the
what's
last
happening.
rose of Albion. Would you watch it? And posting this 1-minute trailer.
That's where all these names come from. Got it. You love English. Say what you want about AI, right? You know, I'm a VTuber. I kind of legally have to not like generative AI art. However, to think that one person was able to make this with generative AI is pretty nuts. It's not a good thing, but it's happening. Whether you think it's good or whether you think it's bad, it happened. That's all I'm saying. It happened. Go change the world. Such a shame, Charlie. Thank you, Harvard. You'll have to be re-educated. But like, chat, would you not let her influence you in the quote-unquote wrong way? Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Would you or would you not be influenced? And you know, you're like, you know what? I kind of like England. I like living here. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't say that because that's an American, brother. But you know what I'm saying? Someone would think that, right? No? All right, whatever. But, yeah, whatever. You guys get it.
文化を守りたいっていう気持ちのどこが悪いの？みんな自分の生まれた国や文化が大事なはずでしょう。悪いことだなんて私には思えない。
Amelia, the last rose of Albion?
So yeah, it's really great, the stuff that people are coming up with. And it's hilarious to see, once again, how much this has backfired on the UK government. Now, I do have an update for you guys. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that it was being reported that this game was taken down. And
I played it in Japanese. I don't know why.
Looks like that period where the game was removed was only for about 24 hours or so. And it's apparently now back up. I'm not sure if they ended up censoring anything or removing anything. You know, maybe part of the...
They shouldn't... Okay. They should have... If I were them, right? If I was thinking from the position of these people, I would have never made her a playable route, right? I would have that foresight to be like, oh, they might pick her. Let's not have that happen. Just take that take that option away from them. If you're trying to lead them in a certain direction, right? If I was trying to do that, I would just do that. That would be mine. But I don't know. Maybe leaving that option open is for the best. I don't know. Jeez, I love Wasteland Rogue.
Amelia questline.
I've been playing
so
a lot
speak.
of Rogue lately. I've been
Amelia
not
pathway
doing great, but I've been trying.
It.
I've been trying to get it. I'm getting
and
the
maybe
hangover.
some of the endings that you can get. I'm not too sure what the conclusion with that is.
Right.
But again, hilarious stuff. How the government in the UK is just like seething about how
fan
people
of the
ended up siding with
government.
Amelia.
30 on 30.
What's not funny though is the real world implications. For example, a state-funded computer game, that being Pathways, obviously that we've been talking about, is warning teenagers that they risk being referred to a counter-terrorism program if they question mass migration. Pathways is an interactive game
Brother, man, you could suggest my nuts.
designed for 11 to 18-year-old pupils and funded by Prevent, a home office program for tackling extremism. Young players are directed to help their in-game characters, a white teenage boy and girl, to avoid being reported for extreme right-wing ideology after discussing migration online.
Right. Because that's how I would reach the youth. I would threaten them. I would force them to think the way that I would think. Because we know how understanding kids are and how much they're like, yeah, I'll believe this. Sure. You know what? Good luck, dude. That's all I'm going to say. Good luck to you guys with that one.
Characters can
Have a
face
good
extremism
try.
referrals if they choose to engage with groups that spread quote-unquote harmful ideological messages or join protests against the erosion of British values, quote-unquote. Even researching online immigration statistics is portrayed negatively. Because how dare citizens try to keep themselves informed and question the government's propaganda? Anyways, that's Pathways and how it completely failed to achieve what the UK government wanted it to achieve. But let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. Thank you so much.
That is so silly. I need to find someone who's played this. I think someone played it. I don't know. I'm sure I could find a playthrough of someone playing it. Even better if it's a VTuber. I'm sure someone would have played it. Chat, I just like it. There's just certain things that I feel like I don't even want to say gaming wasn't made for, but it's just funny to see this, right? And obviously, gaming can be political, right? One of the best series of all times is like Metal Gear Solid, and that's insanely political. That's fine, right? But it's just, bro, you didn't want people to. You should have just made it. What's it called? A PowerPoint. If you don't want people to have choices and all that, just make it a PowerPoint. Or make Amelia a loss. Why not just do that? Just be like, oh, you picked Amelia, you lose. Whatever. I mean, I'm giving them suggestions. They're not gonna listen to me, but I just think it's a hilarious situation. Chat. Don't matter what the ideology, any of that stuff is. It's just funny. I wanted to talk about it. Tell me how you guys feel. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.